Hello and welcome to the Chronicles of the Anathaema Ascendant. My name is Lilith, and this is episode 8. Shopping?
Shane.
I'm only doing recaps. Well, some stuff happened, and we did. Let's see. Well, it started off. I don't remember the name of the planet we're on, but Scott's character and I were working our angle. We were proselytizing and trying to weed out the wicked. Then Siege came along and offered us a bit of an out and a way to serve the Emperor and get off. But first, we had to go and do this hunt for this monster that was in the area that the local mayor wanted us to get rid of. So we all got together. We went out into the woods. We were attacked by, it seemed like the mayor's henchmen or some sort. We killed a big monster, and then we found Jason's character, who is the real monster. Or is he? But so we ended up going back. Mayor wasn't too happy about the outcome, so I threw a big old head at him, knocked him out, and we rode off into the sunset, shooting flames and yelling out the word of the God Emperor.
That's a very succinct recap.
Yeah. That is pretty much what happened. So, you guys get in your ship, and you fly off into the sunset, and that is where we kind of left off. So Macarius, what did you want to do? I know me and you have had this conversation, but you let the crew know what you plan on doing.
Well, mainly, the way I see it, we completed our task. We are owed our due on this. So we're going to go above him and talk to the people who, control him.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because my character would definitely be wanting to report his deviant actions. So if you have an astropath on board, maybe we can send that message. Wait.
Wouldn't that be your last character?
Yep. What happened to your radio?
Short-circuited.
You took it into combat?
Yeah, I tried to he disobeyed orders and wouldn't leave when I told him. And I'm thankful for that in a way.
He died so you could live.
Yep.
I told him to run, but...
I tried, but it wasn't exactly
the witch had other ideas for him.
I mean, I ran, and then she ran me right back.
You went all over the place.
It was a successful tactical retreat, and the tactic was sacrifice the astropath.
And eventually I just bought the bullet and decided that was my fate, so I was like, alright, let's see if I can knock someone down, maybe get a stun off, and buy some time.
No, I actually kind of expected he might be able to resist some of the stuff a little better than me.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I don't know, I rolled pretty good for, my defenses against, melee attacks, but yeah, my will just did not pull through, and that was my strongest.
Yeah, she also was a bit more advanced in her knowledge than any of you were. So there was that too. So she knew what the fuck she was doing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, so you want to go and find someone that's higher up than Xeris.
Yeah. Planet, system, what
Yeah, so is he just the mayor of that part of the planet, or is he I don't know, what's the leader of the whole planet area?
So,
I don't know how that gets divided up.
Holt and Aquila would know, since they were on the planet for a little bit longer. And Dead may know. I don't really know how interactive with... Okay. He knows nothing. But you guys know that that Xeris is just the governor of that particular city, and the person in the Planetary Governor is Caliban, and he also controls the city of Albany.
And so, from my knowledge, would he be the right person to talk to about this?
Yep, he is the highest up that there is.
So it's not like we're skipping a rung that might cause some little bit of dissent.
Right. Like most of these planets, there is usually one person that kind of rules the whole thing, the whole system, which usually there's only maybe one habitable planet on the system. Sometimes there's more, but he is in charge of pretty much everything that's going on. And he is the one that's in charge of putting people into positions of power.
Cool. Sorry, I need to switch from Firefox to Chrome real quick. I don't know why Firefox does not like Roll20.
So knowing that, I would share that with. Obviously, I recommend we go talk.
Sounds good to me, though I don't think setting our ship down on planet side right now would be very wise, as it's a safe bet at least one group is hunting for us.
I'm sure we can use basic
Teleportarium.
Is that an option to us right now?
It's supposed to be able to teleport 5 VUs, which is equivalently 50,000 kilometers.
Yeah, it would be possible.
How far can we get our communications to go? Like, can we talk to people on the planet from our?
I would say probably, because usually even when you're in space, if you're communicating with another ship, you're usually not right next to them. So I would say it'd be about the same as if you were talking to someone on the planet. So yeah, I would say that would be completely possible.
Probably a 2 to 5 second delay without astropath communication, that being. Just a guesstimate.
Yeah, there'd be a little bit of a delay, but not much one, yeah.
So then, as soon as we're within range, I'd recommend we suggest, send a message and let the guy know what's up, that we'd like to have an audience with him. I'm sure he's busy, so if we just show up and demand that we see him, it might not work out.
Yeah, and we have other things to do as well. We don't have to rush to him.
I mean, as long as he's aware of the situation, we don't necessarily have to see him face to face. But I do feel like it would be my duty to inform, and then eventually, send word to even further out that, hey, there's some shady shit going on around here. It's a good thing I'm out here, but we could use, more of the Emperor's law.
Loyal followers.
If, we think the corruption goes deeper, then let's send Inquisitors or whoever handles that kind of thing.
I don't know. We should handle it and maybe slightly influence who becomes the next governor of Valatie. Maybe.
Whatever the Emperor deems appropriate.
I wrote a really, 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 really general warrant of trade. I can almost get away with... No, I can get away with murder. Depending on who.
Sometimes it's even encouraged.
Yeah, kind of like Xeris, to me, as Macaria sees it, I don't want him dead yet, but I wouldn't exactly be against him dying horribly. Hey, we fulfilled our half of the agreement. That's all
In his eyes, you did not.
Well, yeah, he was asking us to destroy a specific monster. And
No.
Or deal with, get rid of.
Remove.
I
agreed to remove a monster.
And while the term is vague, he could have intended it, something else.
I was very careful with my wording for a reason. And this is more or less what you would call politics. You say exactly what you mean and not one fucking inch more.
But honestly, all that aside, we just showed up and his guy started shooting at us. So, I don't. How is that our fault?
Hold on. That was an assumption on your part. We don't know who the insignia belongs to.
That is
I
correct.
thought he said they were his guys or something like that. He definitely seemed very upset when we showed it to him.
He was upset they were dead and immediately told us to leave.
Yeah, well, what's
So
that
he
kind
clearly
of
knew
response?
that's a response of someone who knows something. But that's not the response of someone who necessarily means it was their men. Because think of it this way: have you seen Macarius show 1 ounce of remorse for for Posthumous, Shepherd, or Hesna?
Well, I'm sure he cries on his own time.
Oh, I feel like you're giving him too much credit, Shane.
I'm just kidding. I don't expect that.
That's all right. Grandpa gonna get you for a shepherd.
But yeah,
That's
I don't
fine.
know. In this kind of universe, I just figure most people don't bat an eye at death unless it's like a very close loved one.
Pretty much, yeah. So, you guys fly over to Albany. Are you leaving orbit then and going back into space so that way you can teleport down, or are you like landing
I'd
somewhere
rather-
nearby and just teleporting over, or how do you want to do this?
Teleporting from space.
Okay.
Basically, I know that landing makes it easier to get on my ship. I'm less trustful of that.
Okay. So you can tell, let's see here. You can tell where the city is from space, but I guess the question is how close do you want to teleport to the town? It might cause a stir if you teleport somewhere inside of town. However, you never know what the guards are going to be like on the outside of town.
Well, first I'd like to, send a message and see what the, planet leader has to say, if we can even get a hold of him. That's what the idea was. We call ahead before we just start like beaming down and trying to, kick down doors and get answers.
How about we beam ahead, let them know that we'll be coming from question. Would be able to scan the area or see something of the sort to see the terrain around it, whatnot, and head in from a, quote, well-traveled path?
I guess it depends on how good your sensors are. I mean, you could make a roll.
Wouldn't they have like a pad that you could teleport to, like right around the city limits? I figured that's
No.
Teleporting is very rare. That is something that
Oh.
most ships do not have. You guys had found, well, Macarius had found a ship that had ancient technology on it. So that's something that's very far and in between, and almost no one has. So there is a space station, but
they're used to people physically having to land. Yeah.
yeah, correct.
And we don't necessarily want people to know that our ship has a teleporter.
Because if it's that rare, people are going to want it. Yep.
I would. Sorry, I'm trying to find our sensors. Single void shield. Nope. Auger R50, all specs multiplan. What?
Yeah, the
Plus
Augur
13.
arrays is what you would use to scan, and it is. What check is that?
Yeah, I just had that same realization. Shit.
It's awareness.
Yeah, awareness. So if you want, you could have, let's see here.
I have a feeling that our pilot will do better than me. If I can find him.
Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, and I would normally be decent at it, but I'm in no condition this morning, afternoon, whatever.
Close enough.
I guess it depends too. Also, how long do you when do you decide to do this? Is it like the next day? Is it the same like afternoon? Is it the next morning? Is it a week from then?
That is a hell of a question.
Well,
Ooh.
I don't know. Why would we wait?
Immediate. That way somebody else can't make contact and construe the story.
Yeah, I
Basically
guess that
negate your.
Yeah,
Maybe I
make
want that to
contact
happen.
immediately. Yeah, maybe, but I agree with them. It's better to put my bit first before someone else can influence his opinion.
Fair We're now entering the spin zone.
All right, so Istrow kind of types on the computer a little bit and zooms in. He's able to get you a pretty decent layout of how things are in the town. It looks like the town is got some walls around it, kind of like how Valatie did. Obviously, probably for protection, like it was there, since there's still forests nearby. But there is a lot of cleared out land right before the gate in town, and maybe 50 meters outside of town is like the spaceport. So this town's a little bit different. The spaceport is actually outside of town, and then there's a bunch of warehouses near it. There's a road that leads out of town and away from the spaceport. The spaceport road connects to that, and then it just keeps going. So you could, and then on either side of them is basically rainforesty areas.
So yeah, I'd probably want to come in. Oh, shit. Okay. I have to be honest, like, you could do, like, crazy over-the-top maps, but I kind of like these simpler ones because they're not overly populated, not too much shit to distract you.
Well, and the thing is what are you going to learn? Like, how are you going to know certain things about it? So I figure if you
Sure.
find a place, you can mark it on the map and go from there. Because otherwise, yeah, you don't know anything about the town.
So
the
yeah.
port's obvious, but yeah.
There's not some sort of like database we could like just like research this stuff from.
Some of the stuff maybe, but a lot of the stuff is well known.
If it
So
was
there isn't
on
like
your-
some sort of.
Oh, go for it.
I was gonna say, so like I don't know. I just imagine they'd have like some sort of like collective like internet database where we could find this kind of information.
So for maybe some of those places that are closer to like Imperial Reach, potentially, but these are out on like the outer fringes where, yes, there's a population, but how often they're actually frequented by anyone from the Imperium, and also
Think of it.
it's kind of like just out in the boonies. Like, think of it that way. Like, this is far off. It's just a rinky-dink planet out in the middle of nowhere. And yes, they may send a Tiv in to the Imperium. The thing is they probably don't really give a fuck about this place.
You're asking for Google Street View of a town of 50 people.
Well,
like, I want to know what's
more than
like
that.
down this street.
Well, I mean, there's just gotta be
More
like
true.
satellites or stuff around. Like, don't we have cameras that we could just zoom in from our ship and like look at the place from up above?
Probably not with a 1.6 degree of success.
Oh yeah, that's what that was about. Okay.
Yeah, that was you basically getting a scan of the area so you could kind of find where would be a good place to port in and everything. So you have the basic layout of how the town looks. But even from the sky, you're going to see a bunch of buildings, but you're not going to know what they are. And what Siege said too, black markets and such wouldn't exactly transmit where they are. That's true.
And then you have to kind of worry that, like, this isn't the Imperium, and the quote-unquote safety of the Imperium does not apply here. I wouldn't exactly transmit maps into the void and hope for the best.
Yeah, fair point.
Oh, and I didn't extend the road, but the road over to the left, over here, it keeps going. So you kind of have a baseline of where you're going in the terms of, thank you, whoever finished that, in the terms of like what the city looks like and where potentially you could port in if you wanted to.
So we would basically want to transport out or transport in a little out of visible range. Don't want to overshow power.
So like somewhere like off the map to the left.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's like about as close as we think we could get without anyone.
Okay.
And the quote-unquote message to the governor, or sorry, tab. the Planetary Governor, Caliban, we'd like to set up a meeting with him at his earliest convenience and to contact our ship when he's ready. The other things I whispered to you are the things we'll do while he's busy. Because, as you said, he's the Planetary Governor. He probably has a lot of shit to do.
Oh. Oh, the stuff you sent me earlier.
Armorer.
Okay. Gotcha. I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something? I'm like looking on my whispers on the side of roll 20. I'm like, did he miss something while I was talking? Nah, I got you. What'd you send me yesterday? You guys teleport in. You send off your message. Istra is like, I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything. But until then, is there anything you need done from up here?
Our ship should be, quote unquote, fully repaired by... No, I really can't think of anything else. For the most part, right now, I guess the crew could, quote unquote, enjoy themselves.
But we wouldn't want them off guard either. There is a chance they know your ship, and like they might send someone to look. Especially if they hear through the grapevine that we're trying to contact the Planetary Governor.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Keep an eye out for any approaching ships of a dangerous threat level, like something that could harm us. If it's a shuttle, we warn them and blow them up.
I mean, is there a way we could have them go into like a stealth mode or like land somewhere obscure and just like, you know, keep power off or at the minimum so like people can't detect?
I mean, technically, yes, you can run without power. I mean, I don't know how effective it would be when you're orbiting a planet that's people use the port often.
It's more of a combat / stealth thing where you turn off power and kind of float at the speed you have.
So, I mean, you could technically have him land somewhere on the planet that's random or off in the middle of the woods somewhere. That is an option.
But then again, that might open him up to more risk. So I don't know. It's your call, Captain.
Oh, and as a forewarning, that stealth thingy, it replaces your void shields.
Ah, that makes sense.
I'd rather my ship stay in orbit. I don't trust this planet now. Nothing against Caliban. I have 2 reasons not to trust this planet now.
Well, also to consider in the fact that the more we do to hide ourselves, disguise ourselves, the normal channels, it caused to question the intent of our actions and the legality of what we're claiming.
True, and I'm not hiding. My ship is in orbit. I transmitted from my ship and told them I'm coming. I mean, I can't be more openly blatant about what I plan to do unless I teleport into his office, which is a really bad idea.
I know, I was just more or less referencing the let's hide, let's run on no power kind of suggestion.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It seems sensible to have our ship be like protected. We're still walking in openly.
It's a good thought. No argument. Everything in Warhammer wants you dead.
Pretty much.
But worst case, I mean, if we need to, they can just beam us up. And, I mean, whatever. If we give that away as we're leaving, it's not that big.
True.
So I suppose it's probably better for them to just be at the ready. In case we need to get poured out or they get attacked and then they'll need our direction and whatnot.
Okay, so then you guys are teleported down. You're a couple miles down the road from the port. You can see transport vehicles in the distance. And I guess then do you want to head to the port first, check that out, or do you just want to go straight into town?
Sorry, I had to whisper to Reed. Port. You know what? I would like to check port out and see if anyone here has heard anything of Katina and how she's been. That is an interesting question, Jay.
I think it's a bad idea, but I'll do it.
We could.
As much as like I want you there for the player perspective to prove I have successfully done what I agreed to do, I want you to stay on the ship in orbit. As long as you were not on the planet, we have done what we agreed to do. Does that make sense? From an extremely over-the-top technical point of view.
Fine by me.
You could have him guard the bridge.
You know what? I bet What's-His-Nuts would get along quite well with him. Istral. Yeah. Because I don't think either of them would say anything to each other the entire time.
Nope.
Exactly.
That's what you think. Istral is a nice guy. He usually just keeps to himself, but he can understand someone that's a little weird.
Silent brooding.
Yeah, silent brooding. There you go.
It's a good description, man.
Okay, so there's people kind of coming and going. No one looks twice at you as you walk into the port. There's tons of goods being loaded into ships and unloaded from ships. You can tell that like the right-hand side is pretty much kind of like got warehouse kind of doors where they just kind of open up and they've got a bunch of roads leading in from the warehouses over there. Obviously, there must be a lot of goods being either sent out or sent in to this place. Since it is the capital city, it makes sense that would be the case. You're not really sure what the export is, but you're assuming that it probably has something to do with the either the monster meat from this world or the trees or something. So, but no one really gives you any kind of second looks. They pretty much are all just busy doing their own thing. And you said that you wanted to ask about Katina?
Yeah, because that would be a general question, a rogue trader being a mythic character. Hopefully she's looked upon better than me so far.
You go up to a couple of people. No one's really seen her in a while, but one guy tells you that she's usually more over in Valatie with the Adventura Inc., and that she only stops here if she absolutely has to. But there was news that her ship was badly damaged, so she's probably going to be stuck there for a while.
And I'm going to take it Adventurer Inc. is some organization she works for.
Yes. You don't see any insignia. Are you looking for like specifically any kind of insignias or anything in particular?
Are they similar? Are they different? Do they recognize? Are any of them the weird insignia I found on those two fuckers?
None of them have that insignia. There is a bunch of different ones. Some of them you recognize as different rogue traders. Some of them look like no warships or anything like that, but definitely mostly just trade ships. Like, you're not sure where they're all trading to or from, but some of the symbols you do recognize just as
nobility.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't really see any like actual like imperial symbols or anything like that. You're assuming most of them are local nobility.
Cool. Thank you.
Otherwise, it's pretty loud in there. There's lots of chitter chatter, that kind of noise, and loud metallic noises of like crates being thumped down and loaded in, scraping. Lots of yelling, telling them people to move their asses and shit like that. Nothing really stands out. Everything's pretty pretty normal for a port.
Okay. I'm half waiting to see what Scott says, but at the moment, I think we're mostly done in the port area.
Is there anything you wanted to ask Scott or say?
Just basically that my hood is up, covering my eye, and I am moderately intoxicated.
Holt,
Okay.
could you please help Aquila through the town, please? Oh, and by the way, Scott, is it Aquila or Aquila?
Aquila.
Thank you.
Jeez, Aquila, get yourself together. Day's just starting. You're half in the bag. You've got work to do.
I can walk. This is fine.
Well, our captain doesn't seem to think so.
Oh, no, I'm sure Aquila will manage quite well. Let's see. Markets first. Not black, but normal. I want to see what this town specializes in trade-wise. I know meat's going to be the thing, but character wants to verify.
Yep, okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to look at while you're down by the port and the warehouses?
Are there any sinners?
None that are outright sitting right in front of you. They all look pretty busy.
All right.
Like, even if you tried to ask them for something to persecute them, they probably wouldn't respond because their boss would beat them.
So busy. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, it sounds like they're doing the Emperor's work right now. Then I don't need to interrupt.
Okay. So you guys, do you guys try and like hitch a ride to the gate, or do you just walk?
Offer a few gilt for a ride to the gate. Oh, a fair sum, let's say.
Okay. Yeah, sure. There's a couple of traders that are heading into town, and they offer you a ride, yeah, for some small pay. And you guys get to the gate. The guard checks the transport that you guys are in just to make sure there's nothing illegal or anything, or, you know, normal guard shit. They let you in, and the guys tell you that they're heading to Tavern that's in town that's has some pretty good stuff if you want to come with.
It sounds like a wonderful destination, gentlemen. Please lead on.
Okay. They take you. It's just a small, like, rinky-dink little, like, tavern that's, like, over here in the corner. It's nothing special, but when you get inside, it's actually kind of pretty on the inside. Like, on the outside, it's just a regular kind of hole in the wall looking, but on the inside, there's, like, flowers in pots all around, and the patrons seem pretty happy. There doesn't seem to be any kind of, like, brawls going on or people pissed off about anything. People seem to be in a generally good mood.
Well, something's wrong.
I can fix that.
Sorry, what was that, Scott?
Said I could fix that.
Yeah.
I know, and my direct request is going to be, please don't. And don't worry, Hold can fix it really fast, too.
Just give me a reason.
The guys that brought you into town, they buy drinks for themselves, and they buy you and your crew a drink, too.
Thank you, gentlemen. The next round's on me. Actually,
Awesome.
a round for the tavern.
Whoa.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
I am a rogue trader, so yes.
Everyone's pretty happy about that. I mean, no one's going to turn down free drink.
And gotta tip the bartender and the wait staff because now they gotta work hard.
They don't mind. Oh, so yeah, the guys, they leave you to it, and they go find their own booth to sit down and talk to each other about stuff. But you can overhear some of the other people at the counter talking about Caliban and how he's looking for an 8th wife. And there are a couple of girls, so they're giggling about it, and they look really excited. And if you look around, you see that pretty much all the ladies in there are look like they're maybe wearing their best, and you're wondering if that's maybe the reason why.
I would quietly lean forward and ask the bartender if he was expecting a special guest soon.
Nah, don't pay them any heed. He kind of rolls his eyes. Every woman from 15 to 90 think that Caliban's gonna choose her, and they're all like this. I'm sorry, you came at like the worst time because of that. All of them are like giddy schoolgirls.
I order Aquila another drink, and I'm like, "Why is this the worst time, sir?" And I tip.
Oh, it's just every
Yep.
God damn it!
damn.
Yep. That was only slightly worse than my last roll.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a vape while you explain how horrendous this is going to be.
At least it's not -5.
No, but it is 2 fatigue.
Ooh.
Total.
Is it?
Why do you take fatigue?
Because when you fail a carouse, you get a fatigue, and this is the second one I failed today because Siege and I RP'd, and he's trying to ply me with drinks, and I'm too drunk not to know that's a bad idea.
Well, you just said you weren't too drunk.
Well, I'm getting there.
So, what exactly are you?
You can ignore me.
What are you? I guess I don't understand what you're trying to do. Are you just?
Not trying to do anything. We were negotiating me working for the ship since there was little motivation for me to stay. So the captain offered me up the prior navigator's room, or gave me choice, and I opted for that so that I could dig through notes, maybe find something of value, star charts, anything like that. But in our negotiation, we cracked open a bottle of Amasec, and I also, like, just for RP fun, threw in whether or not I was gonna be a happy drunk or a mean drunk. And I figured happy is high because I've been rolling really, really high. Nope, it was low. So I'm currently a mean drunk. And I just don't know how that's going to play out because I haven't had any stimulus to unload on.
Okay.
Well, here's my idea. The longer you don't have stimulus, the worse it gets. Depending on your success and fails.
Scott, how feminine would you say Aquila is? Like, I know she's very thin and long, but is there any indication that she is a she?
Yes. It's like, so she dresses in a dress, a long dress, to kind of cover her longer extremities. But she's very against the idea of being a plaything for a rich noble because she kind of dislikes the nobility with their hoity-toity attitudes towards their lessers. So she's probably pretty close to getting pissed off at these women who are actively trying to become playthings to this planetary governor. And clearly, if it's the 8th one, then he discards them like a used Kleenex.
Oh no, he has 7 still. Like, he hasn't gotten rid of them. No.
Oh.
He just keeps them.
Oh, sure.
He just adds to his collection.
Mm-hmm. This one's getting a little tired out. I'm going to put her back on the shelf for a while and appreciate this one.
See, absence makes the heart grow fonder, so when you hit that magic number of 8, then you can, you're perfectly ready to see the first one again by the time you cycle through.
Yeah, the bartender's like, he kind of, you can tell he's really annoyed by the women as well, and he's like, he looks at Macarius and Holt, and he's just kind of like, you might want to keep that one, and he kind of tilts his head towards Aquila, hidden until he's fucking chosen, unless you don't mind losing her to him.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
he gets to do that, like even though we're just off-worlders.
Holt,
Pretty
could you
much.
please,
Does whatever he wants.
yeah, as far as this world is concerned, he is God.
Pretty much.
Holt, could you please take Aquila somewhere and help her stay away from these
Yeah.
simpler people?
I take a hand and put a firm grip on your shoulder, a little tighter than you're comfortable with, but I start to direct you out. Like, here, let's go do the Emperor. Let's go find some other sinners.
That bartender is very lucky that I don't have the wherewithal to understand exactly what's going on here, or I would have given him a piece of my mind and a piece of my ammunition.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah, we're fortunate. We walk with the God Emperor.
Are we going to go shopping, Holt?
Yeah, sure. It's been a while. What, get you
I
a
need-
large money and say go.
I need some frag.
Well, let's go see what they're offering. Yeah, let's go for.
Let's fuck some shit up.
Yeah, here. I hand you more money than you've probably seen in your life, Holt, and say, let her have fun.
We'll figure it out. Thank you, Gavin.
I feel like Holt's idea of fun is different than what Macarius thinks is fun.
No, he has fun doing his job. Like, he loves what he does, and he's all about that and pretty much nothing else.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. All right.
So we should go burn some heretics. That sounds fun.
Oh, doesn't it always?
Da, 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 da. Pretending I didn't hear that.
I think everyone just kind of pretended they didn't hear that. Everyone's in a pretty good mood, so they're just ignoring them.
Now I'm starting to think, well, maybe we could find some heretics to burn, actually. Distract my friend here, let the captain do his thing, and do the Emperor's work. That's pretty much a win-win-win.
So you guys leave.
Yeah, you do your thing. I need to look something up real quick. Sorry.
All right, and so
So we're walking up.
before you leave, the bartender he hears that you guys are gonna go shopping or whatever, and he tells you that if you go up a couple blocks, that's where the main markets are.
And when they leave, I'm going to ask, you wouldn't happen to have some detox I could purchase, would you, sir? And yes, I know this is going to be an acquisition check. Well, I need to see if this makes any effect on, quote, the booze
Nothing
that
I
I'm
typed
feeding him.
has any effect.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I didn't read this. Holy hell. I think you might prefer a hangover, actually. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Let's see here. So detox. This drug can negate the effects of the most dangerous gases and toxins. Detox immediately ends in ongoing effects, both positive and negative, of any drugs, toxins, or gases. Using detox, however, is both painful and debilitating.
Sorry, I'm actually kind of interested in what Jay's character is doing with a, quote, log.
I picture him just like hanging out right by his drought, just making him super uncomfortable.
I don't know if they would be uncomfortable. Like, I have a feeling we'll come back and be like, so how was it? And they'll both look at us and be like, perfect. But not smile or say anything.
Yep, just like, he stayed on his half of the room, I stayed on my half. It was beautiful.
And by the way, Macarius, you cannot get detox from this guy. He does not have any.
Yeah, and looking at the side effects of it, I probably really don't want it. Like I said, having been hangover to all hell in my life personally, like CJ version, many times, I'd rather be hungover than this.
Well, you got a 40% chance of no effect.
Pretty decent.
It reminds me, it's not for getting rid of a hangover. It's more, you remember The Rock, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage?
Mm-hmm.
So they have the balls, if you inhale it, the green balls inside the missiles. If it breaks, you get it infected by that. You got to jam the syringe into your heart in order to not die immediately. That's what detox.
Good. God. Yeah.
So it could save your life.
Yeah, it's for really bad shit.
Yeah.
Do they make a detox light?
No.
Nope.
Water.
Yeah, ordering me recap probably would have gone a long way to fixing the problem rather than getting me 2 more drinks.
Yeah, I was just patting
Well,
the bartender's wallet, making him happier and happier.
Well, I mean, you probably got... It might have been taken as a slight to try to feed me caffeine instead of booze, so
Yeah, you never know.
diplomatically speaking, probably was in your benefit.
But I feel like had I realized, at the time that you were like an angry drunk, and I feel like my character I would have intercepted that drink and just be like, all right, here, let me help you.
I guess the question is are you always an angry drunk, or does it depend?
It was a 50-50 roll, and it just happened to be I was in a shitty mood because somebody screwed me over on loot.
Because I know I'm the same way. Most of the time I'm a happy drunk, but there are times where, yeah, I can be an angry drunk. So I just wanted to see if it was just, happenstance, or if you were always
That's just like how it always is.
No,
And I can imagine, it's like one of those things where it's like you're a happy drunk until you have any sort of reason not.
Right, yeah.
However small.
All right, so I think we're going to switch over to the ship and see what Dead is up to.
Oh, Dead was letting y'all do that and RPing through tech.
I know, but I feel like you should also be involved in conversation. So if you just want to read what you wrote, that's fine too.
No, it was most part he was hiding away on the ship. And he kind of knew, based on the captain having a conversation, that the captain wanted his money in payment for taking me off the planet. Unfortunately, I really didn't want to go back on the fucking planet. I was happy to be escorted away, so to speak, and I know that me going back down was just going to complicate the issue even more. During my time inside the room, much like I did with the personal log, it feels like there is an emotion built within this ship, and it's not a good one. There's nothing like I was in the middle of the jungle with monsters, and I felt safer than I did on this ship. That is how fucked up it feels on this ship. And I realized that I probably got myself into something really risky, especially hearing what had happened, the rumors from other people talking about what happened to the other crew members. So when I find out that they're heading back to the planet, I'm like, oh my God, I really, really, really hope that it's a case that they don't make me go. Thankfully they do, and they kind of I get escorted to the bridge and said, hey, guard the bridge. And I'm like, I just shrug, like, why the fuck do you need me to guard the bridge? But all right. So I'm standing there. They walk out. I look over at the pilot, who looks at me. We kind of eye each other awkwardly. I give a really kind of like a Shrek grin. It's meant to be nice, but it looks horrifyingly ugly.
Yeah.
And he just immediately, I'd imagine, just turns the fuck around. Pure silence. I'm happy with this. Everybody keeps their distance. Unfortunately, boredom set the fuck in. So I've noticed that aside from all of the ill feelings within the ship, there's a lot of fucking rodents, bugs, and pests. So I'm chasing them around, stomping on them, smashing them, and having like this little massacre war in my mind where I'm murdering all the fuckers that did to me. The downside is I don't know what the guys look like. So it's a mixture of like these blurred faces with no actual expressions or detailed features, just with kind of like the tattoo of the symbol that we found on the patches of those guys. And that's just kind of what I'm going on. After I feel victory and I stand up, kind of huffing and wheezing, because apparently I've been doing this for a while and I've killed quite a few fucking rodents at this point. That somebody's snickering. Apparently my amusement is causing the very same in other individuals, but when I turn around, everybody's very stoic looking at their equipment. Nobody's fucking staring my direction. I kind of get a little kind of a laugh, but it's one of those that I can't let myself feel that way or open up that way because I can't befriend these people. I can't trust these people. I'm here to do a service to get what I need to go forward. I don't give a shit about anybody else. And then now that I realize that me one, rodents zero, I'm bored again and wish the captain kind of would hurry up and fucking return because now I'm getting a really, really bad feeling in my gut.
So after your antics with the rodents, someone actually does enter the room and they have like a tray of food. And Istro kind of turns around and he's like, he looks over at you and he's like, I don't know that we've actually formally been introduced. I'm Istro. I figured you'd probably be hungry, and I sent for some food for you.
Thank you.
The person just kind of sets it off to the side. It's mostly just like meat and rations and stuff, and there's some random drinks and stuff there too. And then that person leaves, and Istro goes back to doing what he was doing.
I would hulker over probably to the place farthest away from everybody else because I'm a little self-conscious because while I'm getting accustomed to this body, I can't imagine that watching me eat would be a delight for anyone.
Probably not.
For anyone not used to you, and that would actually account for all the players we get, we're probably not comfortable with your appearance at all. But we just pretend and hope you don't notice.
Do you look pretty similar to like the picture you have for your character?
I really do look like an overly muscular crocodile.
All right.
With the wings and shit.
So are you technically like a lizard man, or are you? I don't know.
Yeah. So what it is because of the fact that some of the mutations kind of changed me and made me take on some to all characteristics of some kind of reptilian being based on the explanation. So I kind of went with an alligator and I let it amass more of me. There's some still like in the eyes. You can kind of see that I retained something of myself, even partially, because one of my eyes is red, one of them's blue. Is kind of so everything about me obviously is kind of like, oh, well, this is interesting. What the fuck's wrong with them? But I think that would be something that, aside from just the natural being the way I look, that is probably a draw for a lot of individuals to notice.
So I know in like earlier Warhammer universe, there was actually like lizard men, and they had a Croxagore cast that looked very similar to what you are. Is that something that they're like pretty much extinct? So it's like you don't typically see like lizard men around anymore.
You really wouldn't see very many, if ever, see anything like him.
And have you admitted, are we aware that you are like experimented upon and were human at one point? Or are we just kind of like taking on like, okay, this is the crazy creature we found?
You only know that somebody did this to me. And by this, you could probably guess I meant what I look like, because usually I'm pointing to the entirety of my body at that point. You haven't really, not even the captain's had that conversation at this point with me. You know that I have a necklace that has a bullet predominantly shown, but other than that, there's nothing you really know about me other than the fact that those people did this, in quotation marks, to me, and I want revenge. That's about all you really know.
Well, one of these days we're going to have to sit down and have a heart-to-heart about the God Emperor and his glory.
God, this is the point where I want to fill in one little bit of information, but it has to be done at the right time.
The downside is what if the God Emperor did this to me?
Well, then it was meant to happen, and you should just accept it as his gift.
What was the last thing you asked me for, Jay? You don't have to say, I know you know what it is.
Talking about in our whisper?
Yeah. And even Miranda knows what it is, but it could happen. It's the last thing you wanted.
That I think is not something anybody else needs to.
Why do you think I'm talking about it this way?
Even some of the Emperor's children have bestial appearances due to the potential of having animal DNA encoded within them. Lionel Johnson, for one, looks like a wolf man. But for the most part, abhumans are hunted.
Good thing you're not on a planet.
Yep. That's the biggest thing is anytime we go, like spaceports I could probably get away with. But it's like planets, civilizations, proper places, you're not going to want me there unless you want to cause the problem.
Well, I mean, being under the control of a rogue trader does grant quite a bit of leeway. Just don't go wandering around without Macarius.
Pretty much, yeah. And in this instance, it makes sense not to too, since this is where people were hunting you.
Yeah,
there is one more thing I want to say. I am not cleaning up the mess of all those critters.
No, I didn't expect you to, honestly.
That's what we got Serpentors for.
We can have the cooks recycle that.
It's meat. Or, sorry, protein.
Well, the rats are meat.
And they've been tenderized now.
Yeah, but the insects, they're protein.
Oh, that's free protein, absolutely.
I imagine like cockroaches the size of cats.
So disgusting to think about.
That is terrifying to think about. Cockroaches are disgusting.
Madagascar times 100.
Oh, yeah. Well, just think about cockroaches exposed to the warp.
Those kind of cockroaches would probably eat me.
I think we saw those in Divinity.
Oh, yeah.
Those void spawn cockroaches.
Yeah. I don't want to think about that. Ugh. Anyway, meanwhile, down on the planet, Macarius, you are still in the tavern?
Tavern.
Are you just sitting there drinking, trying to listen to everyone's conversations? Are you striking up conversations with people, trying to find information, or are you leaving to go somewhere
I would definitely
else?
Before I left, I would definitely try to figure out if there's any powerful organizations people are interested in or talking about, and be polite enough to just keep the drinks going so that people don't shut up.
The only one that anyone ever really mentions outright is pretty much you hear the name Showg a lot, or Windfall. And after sitting there for a while, you get the you kind of connect the pieces that Showg is the rogue trader in charge of the ship Windfall, and apparently he is looking for some more hired muscle. He's willing to take pretty much anyone. So a lot of the poorer folk are kind of looking forward to maybe getting hired on because he pays pretty well. He is a rogue trader after all. And I mean, even some of the older men are kind of excited about it too. Like mostly he would hire younger men because they're, you know.
So he has a very good reputation within the area, needless to say.
Yes. Everyone that's talking about him is talking about him in a very nice way, basically being like, yeah, he's so great. And you find out that he pretty much is known in these parts for like going out and killing beasts and hunting for their meat, or going to other planets and bringing that back to town here, since that's kind of like the main thing that the nobles of Albany want, is exotic food, pretty much. So he's one of the ones that mostly monopolizes on that trade. And yeah, he's pretty much loved by everyone.
Okay, cool. That's definitely another contact.
I'm actually surprised you weren't like, how can I take what he has and make it mine?
Maybe later. He's very well respected and loved here. Just outright taking his shit is just going to make me hated by everyone here.
I guess it depends on what kind of rogue trader you want to be known as.
Well, I'd prefer not. Well, maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
maybe.
you're 50-50 at this point. Katina thinks that you're a great person because you helped save her. Xeris, on the other hand, he thinks you're the worst shit there is.
I stick to exactly what I fucking said.
I'm just saying. So you're 50-50 right now on people that you've met, so.
Reputation number one.
Okay, I think now I would ask for directions to the less, or using Peer Underworld. I would kind of scout the room and see if there was anyone who was a little less. How to say this? Like maybe
More
slightly out of
scummy?
his. Yeah, more scummy, but clearly still quite wealthy.
You don't really see anyone like that here. But you think that if you maybe go more into like the first area, like closer to the gate, you might find something that's closer to, yeah, like in that lighter brown area. Something that's a little bit closer to what you're looking for.
Okay. Basically at this point, I want to try and look for an armorer for my unique crew needs.
Okay. Actually, speaking of that, I wanted to ask both you, Aquila, and Dead. Do you guys actually have armor?
Oh, not me. Who are you asking?
Just Aquila and Dead, because they're the two that are awkward shaped.
I would say so. I've got Xenomesh and my, as you guys probably read from what I whispered to Shane, my transformation is somewhat recent, so it doesn't work as well as it should for the majority of my body. Like my arms, my legs, there's like maybe a percentile chance that the armor doesn't cut it.
There is something in the book about badly fitting gear. I think it gives something like a negative or something to dodging.
Okay.
Ouch!
Just give me 1 second to look. Okay, so armor, poor quality, or badly fitted gear gives a negative 10 penalty to agility. Looks like.
Okay.
Okay, agility. It could be worse.
And so, like, common quality is like what's in the book, so it doesn't have any modifiers, but like good quality gives you plus 1 AP for the first attack each round, and then best quality gives plus 1 AP permanently, and then obviously the poor quality gives the negative 10 penalty to agility. So, I don't know how good of gear you have, because that might modify, like, what the penalty is.
Okay, yeah. It is best quality, so I don't think that would modify that penalty at all. And then I would say maybe 2. I'd take a penalty on the contortionist until I can get something that actually moves with me.
I guess it depends on what kind of armor you're wearing to determine whether or not that contortionist would be a problem for your gear.
Technically, the contortionist thing was something I'd always had. And then I'm kind of RPing that the elongated arms and legs is a more recent thing. But even then, if it was made to fit properly before, it doesn't quite work the same now.
Because you're wearing Xenomesh, right? That's your armor?
Right.
Okay, well, Xenomesh, that's actually more like a cloth-like armor suit, and it actually kind of... It's not hard. So realistically, that would be fine. You would just still have parts hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would pretty much... You'd get the negative 10 agility from it being poorly fitting.
Correct.
And then you would also get the best quality because technically it's made of finer material. So you would get the plus 1 AP permanently. So you'd always have that extra bonus for the armor. But...
Okay.
You would also get the negative 10 from the agility for it being badly fitting. I think that's kind of an equal fitting for your armor. Because technically, yes, it's really good materials and it's made of really good shit, but it doesn't fit you anymore, so therefore it's badly fitting. If that works for you. And then... Dead, do you have any armor on you?
Yeah, I have armor.
I just wanted to make sure because
Enforcer like Carapace, yeah.
when you had mentioned before, like your description where you were leaving Valatie or whatever, it didn't sound like you were wearing any. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone actually technically had armor.
Yeah, so I would say at that initial introduction, I wasn't wearing my armor. And never had a need to use it anyway during that fight. But yeah, going forward, yeah, I'm actually wearing my armor because that's some of the stuff that I picked up that was in that duffel along with the sniper.
Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that way, because I forgot to actually check your guys' sheets and stuff, so I wanted to make sure that you guys actually had armor, so that way I wasn't just like, nope. Or, whatever. So, okay, so you want to look for an armor.
Yep.
And what are you, Holt, and Aquila doing at the moment? You guys were going to head to do some heretic hunting or shopping or whatever?
Yeah, well, we're gonna go and just go shopping for now and take it easy. And I'm just kind of babysitting her for now and killing time. But as always, I'm vigilant, so if I see something, hear something that catches my eye, I would take any excuse to stop babysitting and do something more serious.
That might be a bad idea.
Yeah,
I'm being led around by the ear, basically. Wherever Holt's going, they taking me with him.
So how are you handling her, Holt? Like, are you like holding her hand, have an arm around her, literally pulling her by the ear?
Only if it's necessary. If I see her start wandering off somewhere. But for the most part, I'm just kind of walking with her and directing her, like, all right, let's check out this stall now. And, oh, here, let's go this. And then if I see her start to divert, I kind of put a firm hand, oh, no, we're going this way.
Yeah, I'm kind of half in the bag, so I'm arm draped around him and just, like, stumbling along.
Which you can tell, like, I'm a little embarrassed by, makes me a little uncomfortable. Anyone else walking by would just probably be laughing to themselves. Which makes me even more upset with the situation, but this is my lot. Right.
Oh boy.
I have no idea where we're going, but if I see anything shiny or that just piques my interest, I might veer off and try to walk, and we'll see how that goes. I can make an agility check with my penalties to see if I can stay upright.
And I'd probably make a check too to see if I can support her from falling. But I'm also kind of keeping my eyes and ears open as much as I can for other stimulus, seeing if anyone's bad-mouthing the Emperor or doing something, clearly wrong.
You see a lot of people on the street. This looks like it's the main, like, markety area. Like, all you see down the street is literally just businesses. There's a lot of stalls for, like, different kind of food, and it actually all smells pretty decent. It's a huge difference from Valatie. Like, this city smells nice. It doesn't smell like shit. The temperature, while still hot, isn't quite as sticky and doesn't make you quite like sweat as much. And yes, you smell a lot of meaty flavors or scents, and you see a lot of different like metal shops. Like, you do see like some pretty jewelry shops and dress shops. Pretty much anything you could think of. There's probably a shop somewhere down here that has it. Black market stuff aside, obviously.
So to me, it doesn't really matter what we're shopping for. So that's where I'll kind of let her direct a bit, and like, oh, if she wants to go check out this, it's caught her eye, like whatever. I'll let her waste her time there. So I'm just kind of sitting there watching, keeping one eye on her, one eye on everyone.
Will you actually roll me an awareness test or perception test?
Gladly.
Both or just him?
You can too, but you probably have like a negative 20.
Sounds right to me.
Not a bad roll, honestly.
No?
You're more aware than you thought you were.
Still not sure if I'm better off rolling perception or awareness.
If you don't have either of them really skilled up, they're the same usually.
Well, so awareness is the skill to roll to detect traps, ambushes, pretty things, hidden things. Perception is the stat based off of it. It's like rolling a dodge or an agility. If you don't have a tick in agility or in dodge, agility is always going to be higher. Having the tick is what you pay for to be good at the thing.
True.
So I should usually be rolling awareness.
Technically, one is the like active looking around. One is more of a passive.
Yeah.
Okay. Awareness sounds more of like kind of just your active or your passive one. Where I feel like perception would be more you're actively trying to do stuff.
Yeah, so it's like toughness you roll to resist poisons. Arouse is based off of toughness that you roll to resist being drunk or imbibing different drugs. So Miranda's right. Perception definitely has its place. It's just figuring out it's up to her to decide which one's appropriate.
I suppose I could see situations where either applies anyway, so it's kind of I don't know. It's like if one's good, the other is usually going to be a bit better anyway.
Yeah, so like most of these, it's depending on which one you roll, depends on what kind of information I'll give you. Like usually when I give you, like have you roll an awareness or perception, it just kind of depends on if you're like, you're always kind of passively looking for stuff, and may catch things even if you're not technically like looking for them. Whereas you may actually be actively like also looking around, and that active looking is what might net you more.
Okay.
But neither of you really notice anything out of the ordinary. Everything seems like a normal town. No crazy never-do-goods or anything like that. Everyone does seem to be in a really good mood, though. Like, if this were a musical, everyone would be singing, like, happy songs.
Like a Dave Grohl concert.
Yes.
So that might put me off a bit. I'm probably not used to seeing so many people actually all happy with their life. I'm used to living on a high world where pretty much everyone's miserable all the time.
Yeah, this actually has you kind of a little bit, off, and you're almost wondering why they are like this, because you don't think this is normal for people.
Like either this governor is like doing a good job, or he's pumping some drugs into the air, huh?
You never know. It could be a possibility.
That sounds like a good idea. Let's get some tacos.
What is a taco?
I don't know. That way. I just point towards the nearest food stall and just
Just with a
lean forward.
a bit of reserve sigh. He just follows. Like, yeah. Let's go find these tacos. Oh, Emperor help.
Oh, please tell me you've played Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
Ice cream.
What is this ice cream? It sounds awful.
All right, so you guys keep wandering around, finding little
We
things
find a
here and
food
there.
vendor, and I ask for a side of frag grenade. And I get
He just cheerily laughs at you, and he's like, "You get those about 2 blocks down." And he just
Fuck
kind of
yeah.
points a direction.
Thank you, sir.
we're gonna get tacos and frag grenade. Gonna be a good day, Holt. This is the best day ever.
Mm-hmm.
And you do find someone that sells weapons a few doors down, or a few blocks down. It's not hidden or anything. It's pretty wide open in the air. They sell just pretty much general kind of weaponry. Nothing scarce at all.
Do they have like a contained range for us to try these suckers?
No, they do not.
No.
Nope.
I I take the bag of money that the captain gave him and I dump it out on the table and I just start grabbing stuff until the guy like tells me not to, and then I'll just pick out like 2 or 3, 4, and I'm looking at him like, 4?
Yeah, I just kind of shrug and I was like, yeah, whatever the lady wants.
Yeah, I mean, I guess depends on what you're grabbing. You're just grabbing grenades?
And then I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, wait, are there incendiary grenades? I want some of them.
No, you just tell me what we get. Like, I'm drunk shopping. This is like Amazon. You find out 2 days later what you get. Like, I don't even know what I'm grabbing.
Okay. I'll have to get back to you on that because I don't have like a random roll for table.
That's perfectly fine.
It sounds highly entertaining no matter what.
You just gotta find a safe place to use.
And I'm just stuffing these things in my backpack and hoping that they don't just go off.
I was just gonna ask you if you would actually grab the
no,
backpack.
as soon as he's picking stuff out, I'm like grabbing the items. Like I'm holding on to this. Like you're not getting this until we're at a good spot.
Oh, you carry him. I don't give a shit. Can I have a piggyback ride? And I laugh because my feet would touch the floor as my arms drape over him if I were to try to, just because of my elongated form.
I'm just ignoring. I'm just like I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response.
Oh.
I think it's fantastic.
Well, of course, I think it's hilarious, but Holt's just like, God damn it. Keeping in mind, I'm not letting her drink this much on the job again. How did she even drink this much in the first place? When did this happen?
Just before the job, for the most
And
part.
I'm just standing right behind him, and I go, we should get some shots.
I think we've had plenty of that.
I guess it depends on what kind of shots you're wanting.
Yeah, I would try to just wait like, oh yes, shots for our weapons that we are buying. Look at these fine shots. Waiting on some slug.
Ooh.
And I'm imagining Aquila trying to shoot it now. Like, literally.
I'm always partial towards fire, so if I see like incendiary ammo or incendiary grenades or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, let's get some of them. I'm actually kind of interested in that. Emperor's Purifying Flames.
Alright, I'll have to look and see what would be available here, but then I'll let you know, both of you, Aquila and Holt.
Alright, sounds good.
All
Starting
right.
to think to myself, like, how long do I have to? How much time am I buying?
So you guys are off shopping. Macarius, you've made your way down now to the lesser wealthy area. Let's see here.
I mean, the character wouldn't realize this, but I'm guessing the different colors of brown indicate the, quote, local wealth.
Yeah. That's more for your guys' knowledge than character knowledge, technically. But the streets are actually a little bit better paved the closer you get to the Capitol building. So, like, when you first come into town, the main road that leads basically east and west, according to this picture, is like the best paved road there is because it leads straight to the Capitol building. But like the light brown is more just dirt. Then like the middle area is more a little bit of both. It's more like stone and dirt. It just kind of depends on the road you get on. And then the furthest section closest to the Capitol building is like actually paved and nice roads. So you've been wandering around, kind of asking in not suspicious questions or anything, just kind of trying to get the lay of the land down here. And you get some little tidbits that you might be able to find what you're looking for. Pretty much it's like right in the corner down here. There's...
Could you ping again? Sorry.
It's pretty much like labeled like to most of the local population, at least that lives down here. That's the area to stay away from.
Not surprised. That's usually the areas I end up.
Okay, so you get down there, and you're kind of walking around, and there's a lot of, like, dark cloths kind of hanging over, like, between the road. So, like, there's sheets above the walkway. It makes it a little bit darker over here, and you get the feeling that maybe someone is following you. If you want to roll make a roll, you can. And then, otherwise, you just have a feeling, technically.
Don't know he's there.
So you kind of turn around, but you don't see him. But you still kind of have this gut feeling that maybe someone is there. But you kind of walk around in this area a little bit, and you find a place that looks pretty much like it's a tavern of some sort. Otherwise, there's just some buildings that look like maybe they're used for storage, but otherwise it doesn't look like there's really any other businesses here. But you also know that probably means that they're just the warehouses themselves are the businesses, and they look that way specifically to kind of make it so people don't just stop in all the time. So I guess it depends. Would you like to, like, try and, like, knock to see if you can get into one of those, or if you want to just go to the tavern and kind of feel out the locals?
Tavern and fill out the locals.
Okay. So you walk in, and it's pretty dark in here. You can tell that they keep the lights pretty low because they don't want people to know who's there. And there's maybe a handful of people in here. It doesn't look like it's very busy.
So definitely a different scene than the previous tavern.
Yes.
Shit.
Quite the opposite.
Un momento. I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to think of the proper question, because I know I can't just be like, yo, man, where can I get illegal armor?
Well, you can.
Probably don't work out so well. But.
Yeah, bad ideas. Bad ideas. It's more or less why I greased the palm of the previous bartender. And I know I'm going to have to do it here as well, just it's going to be a little fucking harder with a couple of patrons. But you know what? Guilt is guilt either way. I'd order a drink, something, quote, light, and I would take a very small sip. And I would ask him if he knows a place where there's someone who works on strange clothing.
Strange clothing. How? You looking for, like, clown outfits, or what exactly?
That's kind of on them to decide exactly what they're after. I have some associates who standard forms such as, I'm assuming the guy I'm looking at doesn't look horribly mutated either. Does he?
He doesn't look necessarily mutated. He's not a good looking dude. Like, he's got one eyeball that's, like, really large. I guess that you could almost call it a mutation. Like, it might just be that his face is kind of drooping a little bit, but his right eye looks really large, where his left eye looks really tiny.
Okay.
But otherwise, he looks like a normal dude.
They were not graced with the same image as the God Emperor, so it takes a little more for them to feel comfortable in their clothing.
I mean, most tailors can make adjustments. It doesn't sound like you need anything too special.
Thicker, heavier, stronger clothes, preferably.
Are you going?
One can never be careful.
Are you going somewhere cold? Obviously not here for this planet.
Possibly. I've been many places, and I do not know where I will be next. But I do know it is better to be prepared than to be sorry. But no, emphasis on stronger and durable clothing.
I mean, durable could mean just about anything, just saying. Like, it'll last longer.
Okay, and stronger?
He just kind of looks at you like, the only place you're going to get anything that's, I think what you're trying to say, is if you're a guard here. We don't, not too many people around here do anything about tougher clothing. Let's just say there was an issue about 3 months ago.
Oh, this does pique my interest. And I pull out 3 times worth of the drink and I say, I'll have another, while the other drink is still clearly sitting on the bar unfinished.
He leans in a little bit closer to you and kind of like leans on the counter, and he's just kind of like, Ernie was killed about 3 months ago. Said to be a heretic and trying to gear those against Caliban and therefore the Imperium. So Caliban had him killed.
He's a wise leader of this planet. Some people could do well to follow his model.
He wasn't no heretic. Let me just tell you that. He just didn't want... He's the one that's corrupt, not Ernie. Ernie was a good man. Well, as good as any of us around here. And he kind of chuckles a little.
I'll pay him for another drink. Did Ernie leave anyone behind? Well,
Nah,
okay.
he was a lonely soul.
Well, who is it the guards hire specifically for their armor needs then?
Caliban's just got someone that does it. I don't know offhand who it is. They keep it kind of quiet because of the fact they don't want anyone else following in Ernie's footsteps and trying to hold a revolution, shall we say. You gear the general public, and you never know what's going to happen.
It is very difficult to tell what the people want at any one moment. I can truly identify with that.
No, I mean, if you need guns or weapons or something, can find Hoki. She's in the back here. He hands you this little token thing and just kind of puts his finger on it and slides it towards you. But she's a hard bargainer. Just telling you now. And he kind of pushes it to you and just says, show her this, and her bodyguard will let you into the back.
I'll take it, nod to him, pay for another drink that I'm obviously not going to have, and wish him a good day.
He just nods at you and pockets the money.
And I'm totally heading towards Hoki. This is more of a meeting the person, seeing what she has, does, etc.
Okay.
Well, I don't know what she has or does. I know she has weapons, but that's a pretty vague category, honestly.
Definitely, yeah. Specifically so. While you head back there, I think I'm going to go jump to the ship. And do you have anything that you would like to do aboard the ship, Dad?
No, I think I'm just gonna. I think how much time has passed that they've been down there?
It's probably been maybe 3 or 4 hours.
Nice, that's what I thought.
Tap him on the shoulder.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
So long.
Well, I mean, we haven't gotten any kind of message back from the planet yet, so I mean, I'm sure they're just kind of waiting for that. I mean, I really don't know how long it's gonna take.
I have a bad feeling. Radio them. Contact them however you must. Make sure they are okay.
Oh, okay, sure. And he gets in contact with. I imagine you guys each have your own like communication device.
I mean, does the bead or whatever, does that reach this far?
No, that's short range comms.
Yeah, so it'd be probably like a Voxcaster.
So I'm not sure if I'd be equipped with something like that unless we decided to do that. I figured maybe just the captain has it, though.
Cause you guys,
Yeah, that wasn't something I thought to grab.
I mean, I imagine you guys would all have microbeads just because that way you could communicate with each other. Probably someone has a Voxcaster just so that way you guys can communicate with the ship.
I would think the captain would have that at the least.
Yeah. So, he gets on and he communicates down to Macarius. CJ, are you there?
Back.
Okay. So he's messaging down to you. He's like, "Hey, Captain, are you there?"
Yes, Istral, what's up?
Still no word from the planet, but we Dad had a bad feeling, and he wanted me to make sure that you guys were all right down there.
Well, I've seen Aquila in better shape, but she's in the care of Holt, and hopefully those two can keep each other tame.
Is she injured?
No, that would be much easier to deal with, truthfully speaking. Much worse. She is drunk.
Okay.
Although if it's been a few hours now, I don't think I've let her have any more. Maybe she's sobering up.
She's probably sobering up some, yeah. Do you know if they're still okay? I mean, are they there with you?
1 second. I would tell Istral to hold on, and I do have a Voxcaster now.
Yeah, that's what he's communicating with you with. I'm going to say that you guys each have a microbead to communicate with each other while you're on planet.
And I would try and contact Holt and see how they're doing.
Well, does he get through to me?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Unless you don't want him to.
No, I'd respond as soon as I hear him. Oh God, it's awful. Been babysitting this nut for freaking hours. But we're otherwise fine.
Well, hopefully the hangover brings her back from wanting so much of the spoiled life, let's say.
Yeah, well, hopefully that and the fireworks are going to be shooting off here will calm her down.
Fireworks?
Well, one thing led to another. We found an arms merchant and got some toys we're going to try. Figured we're killing time.
I'm not exactly against this in its entirety, but the major question I have is, where do you plan to play with your fireworks, let's say?
Well, I think I saw an open park earlier. We're going to maybe let them off there. Right now they're in my care, though, so nothing goes off accident. So don't worry about that, Captain.
If I may, it would probably be in everyone's best interest if explosions did not happen in the town. You may injure a very loyal servant of the God Emperor. It might be okay to harm the indigenous wildlife. In fact, from what I can gather, it seems to be a major trade here.
Oh, you got nothing to fear, Captain. I'm not a child. been around munitions my whole life. I know the difference between a squirrel and a citizen. I mean, what are these parks for if not municipal use? I'll give a fair warning. Have no fear.
Poor Hive Worlder. Some people, believe it or not, enjoy the wildlife when it's not trying to eat them immediately.
Wait, you mean people do more than just try to kill it? These planets, they just make no sense. I find all this green sickening, personally.
There is massive swaths of it outside the walls that you could happily annihilate.
Let's go blow some shit up, Hole. I'm bored.
Well, is there anything else you need, Cap? How much time do we need to buy here?
Buy time? For what? I have no problems right now. Everything is going well. Istral contacted me because one of our crewmen had a bad feeling about what was going on.
So we just use comms for everyone's bad feelings now? I don't know. All right, Cap. Well, that's going to be an earful every day.
When demons and chaos are real things to contend with, yes, a bad feeling is quite dangerous.
Honestly, it seems like everyone else here is almost a little too happy, if anything, so I don't know about this bad feeling. But I'll remain as vigilant as ever. If you need anything, let me know. Otherwise, I think we'll take up your advice and find a safe spot out of town to make some magic.
I'm going to trust that they do that. I'm just glad he didn't hang up before that.
If nothing else, over and out.
Have fun. Out.
No problem.
Sorry, I meant to say that at the end and forgot.
Well, then I'd gauge the best area to get out of town and see if I can't find a good spot to blow some stuff. See if I can't find some of them squirrels.
Seems like the only way out is through the gate that you guys came in.
Well, we know the way, so all right, we'll start making our way there. Well outfitted with whatever munitions you've allowed us to find.
Yeah, well, you know the way, and I start walking in the wrong direction.
Yeah, well, no. Let's scoop you up. Yeah, we're going this.
Okay.
I'm just imagining like him carrying Aquila, like the what is it called? Over the threshold carry, and Aquila's feet and hands are dragging on the floor.
Ow.
So
The other bag, and the other hand, I've just got a huge bag full of bombs and guns.
At least you're not dragging those.
Yeah, right. I'm actually more careful, much more careful with those than I am with the. I respect my munitions.
Because they're valuable, right?
Exactly. Given to us by the God Emperor himself, provided to slay his enemies. These are my tools. I was born with them, and I will die with them.
You were born with them, huh?
Well, I mean, that's the way I look at it.
And I'm just like, did you come out of the womb with a frag grenade in your hand?
The way I would tell my story, yes. It might not be true, but that's the kind of embellishment you can expect from my character.
I mean, I could see, like, being born and then given one.
Came out with hand flamer already ready.
You knew your lot in life.
My mother was a true patriot.
30 seconds old and already wielding his first flamer. Oh,
baby's first.
Macarius, then do you get back to Istro?
yeah. Sorry. Turn down the music. Yeah, I flip back over the comms to Istral, and if you could relay my thanks to Dead. It seems that there was about to be a little more chaos than most civilized areas are ready for in the town.
You realize that has a completely different context in 40k.
Well, I don't know exactly how to say chaos without saying chaos, but yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, there was about to be considerably more entropy in town.
Well, I guess it was good that we called then. Kind of gives a nod over to Dead, like, good call, dude.
Crisis at work.
I'm gonna give him the most awkward thumbs up ever and then walk away.
I guess that's all then, Captain. Please hurry back as soon as you can. And then over and out.
Well, scroll. I think I am running out of plans here.
The
So
oh, what
they
was that?
never got back to our message you had said earlier.
Not
From,
yet.
4 hours. Okay. That's getting me worried. I mean, I guess I don't know that as a character, but as a player, I'm just like, well, why wouldn't they say anything? What are they planning?
That's a good question. You just never know. Though maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes pass and well, no, probably closer to 10 pass and well, actually, Macarius, you were gonna go talk to Hoki, right?
Yeah, introductions, see the inventory, what he or she does well. She, right?
Yep.
Wouldn't we find it unusual though that they haven't responded? Like, I'd get like, the mayor himself or the planetary controller or whatever. He like won't necessarily respond to everything, but isn't there someone like that's paid to pretty much answer communication?
Yeah, he probably has a secretary of some sort, but there's
we wouldn't
no
find
saying.
that strange, really.
You don't really know how well this government's put together or how organized it is. So
Yeah, I suppose anything fringe, it's just not exactly certain.
Holt's a pretentious asshole, though, so he would assume that they would have their shit together.
Exactly. I mean, they're working for the God Emperor. I don't care how far away they are. They should be serving him as well as they can. Even though he might not be concerned or worried, he's at least peeved. It's like, well, someone's going to get a good talking to in a lesson.
That's fair. Yeah, you kind of expected that they would have gotten back to you by now. Like, it's been several hours, so but you're not sure if it's just that maybe whoever the secretary is needed confirmation from the planetary governor himself to be like, oh, hey, yeah, we can set up a meeting, or you're not really sure what the circumstances are.
I mean, I guess we do know that he's like going around looking for another wife, so I guess we can expect him to be occupied with that and kind of putting things on hold for the day.
I mean, yeah, he might not even be in the office. You don't know. All the women seem to think he's going to be out and about, but who knows? Give me 1 second.
Cool. I'm gonna grab a bio.
Holt,
Yeah, I saw what you just messaged.
I got an idea. So, you remember those walkie-talkie people that we normally burn alive?
Walkie-talkie people?
Yeah, the astrolades? The astropaths?
Okay, why do we burn them? Why would I think we'd burn them alive?
Well, because they haven't been obtained by the Emperor yet.
Oh, do you mean, like unregistered psychers? Because astropaths,
Yeah,
they've went through all the training and everything. They've been touched by the Emperor. They've seen his vision.
Yeah, so the captain says they need a walkie-talkie. We should find one.
Let's continue on. Let's shoot off these fireworks. I'm pretty excited for this. I don't want to be carrying all this around anyway.
Okay.
And then we can go and see about that, perhaps.
So yeah, Hoki and Macarius.
Yes.
So you head to the back. There's a bodyguard outside of a room. He's a pretty big dude, muscular, kind of wearing like a ripped kind of tank top kind of deal, no sleeve shirt, and he just gives you a stony look and just stares at you with his arms crossed.
So he's stone.
I pull out the what is it called? Hoki's token, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. He looks at it.
You put your left token in, you put your left token out, shake it all about.
Do the hokey toke.
Oh
Thank
my
you,
god.
Shane.
You guys are terrible. He looks at it. He kind of nods and he steps aside and opens the door for you to go in.
Very sociable sort.
Oh yeah, definitely. You go inside and there's a lady in like a dress and a cloak of some sort. She's definitely dressed really warm, like in a lot of layers, more so than one would expect in this kind of environment where it's already kind of warm out. She's got a hood up, so her facial features are kind of darkened by shadows. And she's just kind of leaning back, her feet up on her desk. And she says, "Welcome. How may I help you?"
I'm always in the market for better wares, let's say. And I was told that someone here might know where to locate or have them procured.
Well, that's me, sweetheart. I can get you anything you need. What are you looking for?
Like you're asking me at this exact moment what to a list?
She's just she just assumes that you were looking for something specific. If you're not, you can just tell her that that you're not at the moment, but you were just making sure that if in the future you needed to, you could come here, you know.
Personally, I would love to find some shit. I forgot their name. Oh, bolt weapons. Bolt weapons. Scroll. Oh yeah. Ceres pattern bolt pistols are some things I personally would be interested in. But I could promise a larger purchase in the future as well. Though I do not know everywhere I would be looking for, so I was curious if there were specialties of your own that you may have.
I mean, not really anything in particular. I kind of am a connoisseur of all things. Pretty good at finding just about anything that you need. I don't have any bolt pistols per se, but I could definitely find some for you. Usually takes a little bit of time to find the things, but I always find what I'm looking for. That's Hoki's guarantee.
If you come across them, I can guarantee I would be interested. And would I be aware of, quote, Holt's fascination with things that burn? I know it's rather...
I mean, I've pretty much used my flamer at every opportunity I possibly can, whether it seems appropriate or not.
That is true.
I burnt that whole monster body to a crisp. Like, I unloaded my entire flamer then. Like, I went through multiple tanks on the ride back. Like, I was carrying guards with it. Like, you don't doubt that I at least enjoy using them.
I can also say for sure that one of my associates has a very strong affinity for fire and everything involved with it.
Ooh.
Weapons such as that might be interesting to have.
Flaming things definitely are interesting for sure. I'll have to keep an eye open. How long are you going to be in town for?
Good question.
That's a good response, Shane.
I mean, this is the black market. You could basically be pretty open-ended about everything. You don't have to give exacts on anything, and no one would really expect you to.
I mean, yeah, you could say next time we're in the area, we'd swing back and hope she has the stock.
I cannot tell you for how long I can stay in town, but I will definitely stop back by to visit someone so wonderful as yourself. And yes, I'm rolling charm.
Okay.
I'm increasing that by 1.
Okay. She kind of smiles at you and she's like, well, for someone as sweet as you are, I definitely would be able to hold on to items for you and make sure they're here the next time you stop around. Don't make me wait too long. She kind of bats her eyelashes at you.
I smile and give a half bow and says, I hope to see you again soon.
Me too, darling. Yeah, there's not really anything to, like, look at. Like, she just kind of basically has an office back there. It's not so much as, like, a shop as just her office and where she takes business. But, so there's nothing, like, really, like, sitting out that you could be like, oh, yes, I'd like to purchase that or anything like that. She does it all on, per person's need rather than just having inventory.
And honestly, having a large amount of contraband is a great way to go to prison forever or die immediately.
Yep.
I mean, what are they going to accuse you of if you're sitting at a chair with your feet on a desk?
Exactly. Is there anything else that you want to talk to her about, or do you leave?
One more thing, Hokey. I heard an interesting rumor about 3 months ago. Someone accused of heresy, though apparently this wasn't true.
Yeah. Ernie. Yeah, that hit us all hard over here on this end of the city. We all knew him. It's kind of all made us lay low a little bit more than we were already.
It sounds like this isn't exactly a surprise, but it sounds like some people may not be quite as happy as others here. Are some people faking what they feel?
Well, I mean, if you really want to get the laydown of everything, you'll want to talk to either Two-Tone or Sar. They're the ones that keep tabs on all the nobles and everything. What's going on up there. And I mean, around here you can ask the locals, but most of them will tell you they got no gripes, really. There was just a few people that were trying to start some shit because they didn't like the way things were being handled. Something Caliban's not exactly up to his good intentions as he once was.
Unfortunately, times can change, and that can make people change for the worst. I do thank you, Hokey. I hope you have a pleasant time. I wanted to say day or whatever, but time.
Appreciate it. You too.
And on my way out, I would hand the guard some guilt.
He doesn't accept it. He just keeps his arms crossed.
I look at him, smile, and pocket it.
So a few minutes after you're done talking to her, you get another call in from the ship on the Voxcaster. Captain, are you there?
Yes, Estrel?
So I just got word from the planet, and the governor is not going to be able to see you for probably a couple of days. Apparently, this is like right in the middle of some, I don't know, wife going ons. I don't understand it. It sounds like it's some kind of custom. So I guess it takes a few days. He just sounds really confused. Like, he doesn't really understand what he was told, other than that the planetary governor won't be available for a few days.
Thank you, Estrel. Please contact Holt and Aquila and let me know their location. We'll be attempting to head back to the ship soon.
They don't actually have a Voxcaster, so you'll have to actually get a hold of them yourself, Macarius.
Oh, okay.
They have microbeads, so that way you guys can communicate, but those won't reach to to orbit to the ship.
Yeah. All right. I would try to contact them and see if I could meet up with them. I'm going to let them finish having fun with the explosives from a safe distance.
Yeah, at this point, I'm actually probably having a blast. Like, all right, all the bullshit's been worth. Look at that squirrel fry. You hear the way it screamed.
Heretical sons of bitches.
You can hear the chaos leaving its body.
Oh my god.
I love my crew.
You definitely can hear a hissing as, you burn it to a crisp and you just see the smoke kind of furl up around it.
Yeah, it sounds like evil escape.
You're pretty sure, yeah, that is the case.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And when we get back to the ship, I want to try to contact the governor again and offer to lend out my luxury quarters for a space honeymoon, since I know it's not a common occurrence for many people there.
You send him that message, but you just...
Oh, he can totally ignore it, I know. It's just, I have to
Yeah.
hope he responds.
It's kind of the same situation before where you may hear back or you may not. It may take a while, but... yeah, it probably takes another, maybe hour or two before someone gets back to you and says that they will relay the message and that if they decide that that would be acceptable, they will let them know. Oh, man. Your roll is terrible. You definitely did not hit anything.
Wow, we're getting all these bad rolls out now. That's good.
You're just destroying some trees and some. Good
Hey,
thing
I'm
there's not
getting
any
better.
landscaping.
I wanted to roll to see if I would actually shoot myself in my intoxicated state.
I mean, you're doing a pretty good job. You're just, just not a good aim when you're drunk.
I'm offering tips no, not like that, you dumb.
Who are you calling dumb, Holt? I've seen you. Watch this.
You do have 3 eyes to see him, so.
You got 3 eyes.
No, let's see how well I actually see where I'm hitting. Because I might think that I'm doing, amazing. Holy fuck. I hit everything I was aiming at.
Wow. That's as bad as it gets.
You are convinced that, yes, you hit everything that you were trying to hit.
Yep.
And you think you're the best shot there is, and there's nothing Holt can say that will convince you otherwise.
Top that shit, asshole.
then, yeah, I'd probably realize at that point, okay, you're a lost cause.
Yeah, you didn't realize this, Holt, but she's been drinking while you haven't been looking.
Right, I was like, what is going on here? You should be sober by now. Just kind of scratching my head what is that? Maybe they did pump drugs into the atmosphere and I'm just resisted.
So you guys are back on the ship. Do you guys come, or Makarios, do you go up before them and then just have Istrao port the other 2 up later, or do you just go join them for a bit, or?
When the explosions stop, I'll join them.
I was going to say, you probably see a good big chunk of the woods are just kind of on fire and there's smoke in the air. Critters are running for their lives.
I have a feeling it wouldn't be very hard to find y'all.
Exactly.
Well, so I've never met the captain before, but somehow or another I've acquired all of his shooting skills. So what I do is, with my gun pointed down at my side, I fire and then aim. So just like every time that he is enthralled by a psyker, I miss by as many degrees as humanly possible.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Just a tad bit of a terrible aim. It's all good. But you think you're amazing, so that's all that matters, right?
I am amazing. Thank you very much.
So how long are you guys out there?
I probably get bored pretty quickly and just wind up sitting around waiting for Holt to get done and looking around for a drink stand, and I'm not seeing one, so I'm getting very perturbed.
Whereas I'm a bit more caught up in what I'm doing, so I'm actually probably paying a little bit less and less attention to her. I'm trying to throw, grenades up in the air and then shoot them with my flamer, just ridiculous things like that.
Oh,
I would probably be the one to reach out to Makarios, because I know I have a bottle of not absent, but Amasek in my room. Like, I'm ready to go back to ship, Captain. We're out front. Come get us, please.
You just hear me in the background. Look at it burn.
Do you think you could calm Holt down with the explosives and fire for a minute so that I might come close enough to not burn to death while doing so?
Yeah, I was telling those heretics on your ship. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, that should work, right?
Oh, yeah. I have the best ideas right now. Whether or not I remember to relay that message to him when you get there is another thing entirely, but I'm giving you the out to get him to stop shooting stuff. I need my Amasek.
Holt, are you there? Over the microbead.
There's a little pause, and then, yeah, what's up, Cap?
Did you have your fun?
I've had some of it. There's still plenty of fun to go around.
You could save that ammo for bigger heretics.
Yeah, true. These ones are paltry, to say the least.
They don't seem to put up much of a fight.
But you can tell they're heretics by the way they run. The innocent don't run.
We'll get them all later, I promise, Holt. We'll get every single one.
Well said, Captain. Time that all will know the Emperor's touch.
Head back to the ship for now. See what's going on with, whatchamacallit, Caliban. I know what's going on. I'm just not telling him yet.
Wait, something's going on?
I haven't quite heard back from him yet, so I want to see if Istral or something is up, or Istral hasn't heard back, or if something has happened.
All right, well, I'm ready when you are.
And I'd approach and then use the Boxcaster to have Istral pull us all back.
Okay. You guys are back on the ship. Yeah, if there's anything you guys want to do or...
I make it back to the room seconds before I pass out on the floor.
Okay. How long are you out for?
Well, let's see.
I believe it's a 1d10 roll.
See those big negatives.
5 hours.
All right.
Essentially the rest of the day.
Yeah.
At least I have this nice, soft ship hull to sleep on.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to point out from somebody who has been drunk as fuck many times in their life, and there are people in here right now who can vouch for this, laying on a cold floor feels absolutely amazing when you're piss-ass drunk.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, like, you've been on a cold linoleum, maybe cement. You've never been on a steel, well, this would be plasteel, floor that's in the middle of space, so that's like super cool, like amazing cool.
Yeah, it feels super nice to you, but you know that when you wake up,
Oh,
you are
I'm
gonna
be in
feel
a
it.
world of hurt.
You are gonna feel it on so many levels, especially since Holt was dragging you, kind of parts of your body anyway.
Mm-hmm. And luckily, all of the parts of me that were dragging on the floor were the parts where the armor did not cover.
Oh, yep, exactly. So your legs and your arms are gonna be a little bit sore in the morning, that's for sure.
And I would definitely mention that I had found someone who could possibly procure arms for us to the people who aren't passed out drunk. If they have interest, then I'll look to Holt and be like, I did notice a certain affinity for flame, so I did mention that on your behalf.
As I kind of hoist up the bag of arms with like a grin on my face, like,
And I would turn to Dead and say, is there anything particular you have been looking for, sir? I know you probably haven't really looked for much, but there are possibilities available.
Some of the basic necessities I feel I needed were ground from other places on the ship.
Fair enough.
Basically, and by that, it's like he has a microbead. Now, he's got a void suit. I mean, he's got some things to basically cover some extra necessities he wouldn't have had while he was on the run.
Oh, yeah.
As far as anything beyond that one, his primary is honestly just to get the fuck away from this planet.
I'd love to see that void suit on you. That's gotta be exciting.
Probably be as uncomfortable as fuck.
I just imagine little holes cut out for his wings. That void suit is not.
Yeah.
Oh, and I want to say this. I'm sorry, Jay. Like, I didn't intend to exclude you from this session, really.
Oh, no.
I ain't worried about it. If I was, trust me, I'd let you motherfuckers know.
Well, you did kind of. You had us get called.
No, that was good. Thank you. I much prefer them to blow up the jungle than the town. Because the only two fucking parks I see are way too close to the capital.
I get a feeling that wasn't what his bad vibe was about, but it worked out all. We probably would have lit up an entire park.
Yeah, but you gotta imagine it from Den's point of view, like people on this planet where he's used to being hunted. If he has allies, he would expect them to be hunted as well. Well, not allies, but people who helped him. Like, there's bad people on this planet.
Oh yeah, it's a safe bet that we're kind of hunted right now. And that's a we're, not just Jay. We are.
Oh, I was not expecting to survive this mission. Not being drunk, no way. Like, Holt probably could have gotten out of it, but me, no.
Well, I probably wouldn't have just left you unless, there's extreme circumstances.
It's 40k. It's got nothing but extreme circumstances.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they're all, there's variants of extremes. There's the normal extreme, and then there's, extreme.
The thing is, you kind of hit at a good time because you guys just went straight there, so it's not like there's been like a ton of communication between the two cities yet. So tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like. Yeah, right. There's a good chance Governor guy is so interested in his lady hunt that he hasn't even heard word from his corrupt buddy.
Well, from what we gather,
He's
for the
corrupt
next
too.
few days, he's going to be busy enough he doesn't fucking care.
You did get rumors that he himself is corrupt and kind of a part of this whole.
No. So, you gotta look at this from a different point of view. You have your plebs, and then you have your nobility. The plebs are always going to be dissatisfied with the nobility, no matter
Sure.
what.
So hearsay that they're doing things that aren't right, it's like that's all the time. Everyone's always going to be thinking.
Exactly.
Or at
Pretty
least
much, yeah.
pretending that's the case. And it's the leadership's fault that things aren't working out so well.
Just
Right.
think of it this way. No matter how amazingly awesome of a good fit person you are, if you are famous, I promise there's someone out there who looks at you as if you are infamous.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And if you've got someone who is making money by selling armor to people who would have a hard time getting it from legitimate means, yeah, that's probably, there's a good reason why they can't get the armor legitimately. They're probably trying to stir up an overthrow of the government, which may be warranted, maybe not, but either way, if you're the guy in charge, you're going to squash that because this is 40k. The little people don't matter.
Makes sense. So I guess, I don't know, as long as we pass the information along that of our experience with his other guy, then I guess that would be as far as we really need to take here. It's not like we have to meet him face to face as long as we're sure that he's aware of the issue that we encountered.
That's what we're hoping to do.
But are we don't want to send this over open channels? Is that what we're thinking now? We want to try and just give him a line directly?
I don't know about like secure channel broadcasting and things like that between, like, if it was, let's say, my personal ships, plural ships, that totally makes sense. But contacting a whole nother group and having a secure channel already set up, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I guess we could ask.
Realistically, if you broadcast down to the planet, there's a good chance that just about anyone could intercept that message.
Sure.
Sorry, fixing up my notes.
Gotta make my notes. Got drunk, had a blast. Literally. All right.
I'm thinking maybe call it there for tonight. Seems like a good spot to. Usually I'd probably try and go for another half hour, but I feel like that's going to lead us into some
Yeah, a bit more
spots.
Yeah. We'll want to not just leave off in the middle of it.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean another one of those to where we're stuck till like 11:30, 12:30 at night?
Right, yeah.
Fair enough.
And while I don't have to work tomorrow, I know some of you do.